All right. All right, everybody. Well, hey, we are back and just jacked up. You're going to love this next guest. I've been listening to her show. She's not only the host of the Mary Goulet show, she's also co-host of several other shows. She co-hosts with Steve Olsher on another podcast as well. But we're so excited and so thankful we're able to get you in before you head out of town tomorrow. Right, Mary? You're getting ready to head out on a trip as well?
Yes, just heading out to Puerto Vallarta for a week.
Just Puerto Vallarta. Just going to be drinking some margaritas. Good stuff. But for those that don't know Mary, a little bit about her bio. Mary is an award-winning author and radio TV host since 2002. She's been on Dr. Phil 3 times, Montel, CBS Early Show, Fox National News, and over 75 morning shows nationwide. She started her media career helping mom entrepreneurs make money so they could stay home with their kids. Now she hosts the Mary Goulet Show with the themes of cultivating a rich interior and how to go with your gut. She started a second inspired podcast called Catholicism Cool, helping others to fuel their faith and feed their soul. Shows people keep their eye on the prize, Jesus and Mary, and getting to heaven, all the while seeing the humanity that exists in the church and still being able to hold on to their faith. Mary, we're honored to have you here. I love your bio, love what you're doing, been listening to the shows and absolutely enjoying it, every bit of it. So welcome to Nashville Podcast. Whoops, hang on.
Awesome.
So, take a second and share with everybody out there a little bit about who you are, all right, and what's so great about Mary.
Well, you covered a lot of it. That's definitely spans my career. I think my favorite part of my life is being a mom to my 2 teenagers, who's one sneaking behind me. Yeah, and I'm really excited. So I do sell real estate. You and I talked about that. Yep. And I have 2 vacation rental properties that I own and manage. And they're kind of humming along right now for me. So I get to spend more time being creative and putting more energy into my 3 podcasts, working with Steve on Reinvention Radio and Beyond 8 Figures, and with Richard Otey. So that's great fun. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, just loving it, loving life.
What's the biggest advice that you'd be giving somebody who's a new podcaster out there? What's the biggest thing that you tell them to do if they're a brand new customer? You've got to do this to find success.
Oh, speak as if no one's listening to you. That's my. And if you're nervous about it, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I like the sound of my voice. I don't know if I have anything worthwhile to share. Then just don't publish it. Like I used to do, always live radio. And when I started doing more specific podcasts, I would do the podcast. No one was listening. So I talked like that. I spoke and said whatever I felt I wanted to say. And then I became a lot more comfortable with myself. And I think sometimes podcasters might, in the beginning, get a little bashful, a little shy about their content.
But I would be willing to bet if you're talking like nobody's there, your content is definitely going to change the more episodes you do a little bit, huh?
Yeah, because you don't censor yourself. There's no need to because no one's listening. So just keep that mindset. Talk as if no one's listening.
That's good stuff. What's been one of the biggest nuggets that you've taken from doing your shows that you were surprised about from either your guests or your audience or your listeners?
Biggest nuggets that if you're really aligned with your content, if you're really aligned with what your topic is, then let the magical fairy dust sprinkle over your podcast and people will find you. Your tribe will start gathering in your backyard because they're listening to your podcast. But if you're not really congruent with your message, then people like scratch their head and go, I kind of like what she's saying, but it feels weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's because it's valuable. We were talking earlier about how people only listen to so many podcasts and it's valuable real estate in their mind, their time. And if you're not really hitting your message, you're not being congruent to it, like you said, they're just going to move on to somebody else that they can find who's congruent, huh?
Yeah, and I think, gee whiz, being authentic and, with my show, the Mary Goulet show, our shows develop over time, right? they evolved because we evolved. So it was originally all about my Go With Your Gut stuff, which is still awesome, and I'm dedicating time to that. Cultivate a Rich Interior, and now Catholicism is cool. So when I'm doing my Catholic show, I'm Mary, but I give a twist on it. That's my twist. And there's going to be 50 Catholic shows, but I'm not concerned about it because there's only one Mary Goulet Catholic show.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Because it's your show, your opinion, your walk with that aspect of it. That's what you're sharing out there, and I think it's yours. It's not trying to be my walk or Steve's walk or anybody else's walk. You're sharing your walk out there and sharing your message and what you're experiencing out there, and the genuineness of that comes through on the show for sure.
Yeah, people really want to know your personality, not just they want to know you raw. They don't want to have you sit there and say, oh, I'm so perfect. And, we want to relate. And that's why I think some people get really popular is because they're just relating with other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Any mistakes you've made on the show that you're like, I shouldn't have done that. I need to change. Or I shouldn't have done that. I should do something a little bit differently. Any big mistakes that you've made on any of the shows?
Big mistakes on the show. Nothing that really stands out. I never drop a swear word, that's for sure.
So you're not going to have Ruby Freeman on the show, then, is what you're saying?
I would, but beep.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
No, that's just my thing. I don't drop an F-bomb. Mistakes? Oh, maybe when I was doing a lot of interviews, not prepping. Because you got to show respect to your guest. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to have to listen back to something that you're like, oh, that blew.
But being prepared. I mean, so many interviews can go in many different routes depending on the questions they ask, but doing a little research on your interviews and guests and kind of figure out, well, what makes them tick, or listening to them or anything that they've been on before to listen to, right?
Yeah, and so I've been doing this since 2002, but now I'm interviewing podcasters. So podcasters know most of them know how to speak in sound bites and not just do one big run-on sentence.
Right.
But in the past, I would be interviewing people that had their own businesses or authors. Sometimes authors don't know how to give interviews. So you have to learn how to carry them. But nowadays, maybe now authors are podcasters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's definitely interesting. Figuring out if you've got to carry them or even cut them off maybe a little bit as they get too crazy about pitching themselves a little bit, huh?
Yeah, and I'm pretty good at interrupting.
Creatively interrupting, right?
Yes. Politely so.
What's you talked about so many people have got to knowing their message, listening to their interviewees and stuff like that. What's another bit of advice that you can give to those that are looking at podcasts? I know you talked about the magic fairy dust of when you're getting the word out, it's being straight to your message so that those that like it and will or experience those things will find you. But is there something that you could recommend for people out there to help them market their show, get the word out on what they're doing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know it sounds really silly, but truly being consistent with it. Mm-hmm. Like I used to do my show once a week, 2 hours, and that was when no one did radio online.
Right.
There was nothing on the internet. And I was found by a major publisher. So I think being consistent with pushing out your episodes is a really great idea.
Mm-hmm. Because if you've got a tribe, you want to keep feeding them the fix, right? Keep feeding them the episode for the most part. We were just talking about that earlier with Debbie about that, but I think it's one of the critical things. I know there's times when I've taken a gap, some people are like, "Where are you at?" And that builds that trust that they've got this time. They want to listen in every Wednesday, every Tuesday to show. When you're not around, you're not a part of that aspect of things, right?
Well, and also batching. So if it seems daunting to do it at the same, pushing content out, I record 4 to 8 segments at a time. and I push them out individually. So that gives me a little bit of a backup. But there are a lot of guys doing that right now too.
But it's a great way to help you maximize your schedule. We were talking with Sean Douglas, who's, he likes to map out his time and batch it, stuff like that. That's a great thing to help maximize. So you got other things rocking and rolling in your life too, right?
Oh yeah. I think we all have too much going on.
And then you've got a lot going on, real estate and stuff like that. But then also, being a mom, two very active girls, right? Two very active girls out there, two kids, right? Or is it one girl?
Teenage girls.
Okay.
Two teenage girls, yeah.
Yeah, they'll keep you busy. They'll keep you on your toes, huh?
Yes.
How is one show that you have fed over and helped you on other shows? There been an experience on Catholicism is Cool has helped you out in Reinvention Radio, or vice versa on the Mary Goulet Show? Any crossover stuff?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I've been spending so much time in my real estate world that I just started the first 4 episodes of Catholicism is Cool with Joseph Warren.
Right.
So we call
the
it
Broken Catholic Show. Yes, another icon.
Catholic. So we just did 4 episodes. And now we're going to do 4 every week and start pushing those out. So now I'm super excited because I'm really playing. I do Go With Your Gut, my book. That's my free giveaway for everyone. Episodes on that I record at the studio. But then Joseph and I do this Zoom, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm just getting more excited about learning the newer ways of promoting and getting out there into the world again.
Have you had any, and this is just a real estate question because we're in that niche. Has your show, have you had anybody seek you out as a realtor or in the real estate side because of your show?
Yes.
Oh.
So
good or bad?
No, it's great. And you know what? It's a credibility booster because if they see my email is my name, marygoulet.net, mary@marygoulet.net. People are curious. So a lot of my clients will come back and say, I Googled you. And they'll go, wow, I had no idea you were an author and been on TV and you do radio and podcasting. So it just kind of anchors like you're for real. Gives me gives me credibility. A little bit of celebrity. I'll take it.
You take it a little bit, but wouldn't that come from being on Dr. Phil a couple times too? Has that helped out in any form or fashion?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool.
Now talk to me a little bit about Go With Your Gut. I've not had a chance to read your book yet, but it just sounds like a great thing. I can't wait to get my hands on. It's a little bit like, because I think a lot of people they go against their gut and they end up wishing they'd gone with their gut to begin with, huh?
We've all done it. I've done it. And I wrote the book on it and I still have done it. So, really? I came up with this in 1997 and Kelly Pelker has been a huge fan and pushed me and actually helped me get 2 versions of this book into print. Nice. So thank you again, Kelly Pelker. So basically, I want you to trust yourself more than you trust anyone else. Not that you don't take advice or ask for advice, but you know better in all areas of your life on a gut level for yourself than anyone else could tell you. Even if there's a doctor that's saying, oh, you might have to do this or that, your gut's going to say, get another opinion. Your gut is going to tell you, right? How many times have we put money into a program that we're like, I know I shouldn't do it, or maybe I should wait, but we do it anyway? Investments, relationships, shouldn't have walked down the aisle with that guy. It's constant. So I came up with a very simple way of people understanding what you're really listening to. So if you're in your ego to make a decision, or you're in your emotions, or your gut, if you're in your ego, you're asking a lot of questions, speaking in sentences, justifying, manipulating, rationalizing, and you're very attached to a potential outcome because you want what you want. That's dangerous. Being attached to an outcome, emotionally attached. And when you're in your emotions, I always tell people, okay, think about it this way. A woman or a guy goes to bed feeling great, to-do list the next day, jumps in the shower. Okay, I'm on it. I'm going to just crush it today. Then they go to put on their jeans and they're too tight and their mood goes down because they're like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. I've been not working out enough. So where do you make a good decision from? When you're on a high or when you're on the low? So don't make decisions from your ego or your heart, your emotions. Trust your gut. It speaks in 5 words or less in a statement. And if you're confused, which I was coaching people for a long time, and after a while I realized when people would come in and say that they were confused, I go, you're not confused. You just don't like your options. So you're stalling, waiting, hoping that things change instead of just going with your gut and doing what it says or don't do what it's saying not to do. So it's very simple. And then I just give examples of that. And people start getting it and speaking, oh, my gut says, but my ego's afraid. You know, it's a very simple process. You just got to remember to do it.
You got to learn you got to speak gut.
That's yes. So that's a very quick explanation of it.
No, yeah, it's great there. People, Kelly says it works. She says it works there. She's on here. It's awesome. Good to see you, Kelly, out there. Where do you see yourself going in the next 12 months?
Keeping my 2 brands. So the Mary Goulet Show, keeping my content going, pushing out a soulful version of Go With Your Gut, Go With Your Soul, basically. But then Joseph and I are going to see how Catholicism is cool with Mary and Joseph, how that builds. Because I have connections and I'm keep that under wraps for now. But yeah, push out those 2 and then just sell houses and help my clients. Because we all have 3 jobs, it seems.
We've all got 3 plates that we're spinning from some form of fashion, right? Podcasting is just one of those things.
Exactly. The most fun.
Oh, it is. We were just talking with Debbie. It becomes very addicting having that kind of fix to share and film something and put it out there and see how it does, right?
Yeah. And, you can change it. Like JJ Bill Zanes has how many shows? Because she keeps evolving and getting new ones. And I feel really comfortable with the 3 that I do for myself and then working with Steve and Richard on the other 2.
That's the beauty of it. JJ was talking about this morning, how her 1 show led to 6 or 7 other ones because that's what she focused on. We've added a second show, which is just an offshoot of what we do on a pretty much weekly basis here, and looking at adding a 3rd one as well too. But that's the beauty of it, is just getting out there, sharing it, and doing it, not being afraid of it, and trusting your gut and going with it, right? Yeah. That's good stuff.
It won't lead you astray, I promise. And actually, that's where all that inspiration's coming from anyway. It's not coming from our ego, because inspiration's not a mental process. Creativity is not a mental process.
That's so true. So true out there. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Mary?
Just head over to my website, marygoulet.net. And if you want to email me, mary@marygoulet.net. And I also have a Go With Your Gut Facebook page that people can check out, and you get a free ebook if you want to sign up for it at my site.
Awesome. Good stuff. Mary, thank you so much for sharing. Thanks for being a part of International Podcast Day. I'm sorry I didn't check my text message there earlier with you there.
No, it's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're doing a wonderful
Go ahead.
You're doing a wonderful thing.
Thank you very much. Hey, it's easy when you got great people like you and everybody else being a part of it. It makes this whole day easy and a lot of fun. I like that. I'm like, man, where's the day gone? It's just flown by here.
I know. I've been watching and listening to people. They're terrific.
Yeah, we're pretty blessed. Or as Debbie said, the Icon Posse's is a pretty good group. Yeah. Well, hey, go have some fun. Enjoy your week down in Mexico. Enjoy it. I'm sure it's well-deserved out there, and we'll talk to you when you get back. All right? Awesome. Thanks. All right. Let's see, a little faster, buddy. We'll get our next guest on here real fast.